Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan if you're new here, and today I'm going to be doing a tag video. Classics with a Quirk created her very first tag. It's a good one and she tagged me to do it, which was so exciting. So this is going to be the 5 most expensive luxury items that you didn't buy. Whew, man, I learned something about myself thinking about this tag. We'll get to that. And do I regret this or not? Just for a little added extra fun. I'm gonna have, so she asked to, where was I going with this joke? She asked about totaling how much we saved because we didn't buy this. Now, I'm not gonna look that up ahead of time. I have like a rough idea of how much they are, but when I'm looking up pictures of the item, I'm gonna try to nail down what the price was, and I'll have it written like somewhere right here or over here or over here. So the idea of this tag is going through a few categories of things that you were so close to buying, you almost pulled the trigger, you had the money, you were going back and forth with yourself, but then you ended up not being able to get it. Either like you slept on it for one day too long and then it was sold out, or something happened, you couldn't get the item. So we are gonna go over ready-to-wear, shoes, small leather goods, the bag, and then there is a wild card. I do have my notes in front of me. The thing I learned about myself in this tag is that I am probably a little too impulsive. It was hard to think of things to fill these categories. Now I do have something for every single one, but maybe I am a little too impulsive, and I've been better about that. And a lot of these were from a few years ago when it was still very, very weird for me to spend that amount of money on a thing, you know? Oh, and I actually have my bag of the day just to show you, because this would absolutely have been a regret. If I had passed on it, I knew I didn't have a day to sleep on it. So, and I don't really like shopping like that. I prefer to have a night to sleep on it, but anyway, let's jump into the video now that I've introduced it. Starting out with ready to wear, this one was the easiest one to think of because I do regret it. I'll get that out of the way. I missed out on this coat. It was a seasonal color from Burberry. It was a trench. I think it was like the typical Kensington fit. The thing that made this so special was the color. You know, it wasn't black. It wasn't the typical midnight or honey. It was this like dusky blue, gray, stormy color. I don't know what it was, but it had like this like honey-toned tortoiseshell buttons, just the usual Burberry buttons on their trench. It was beautiful. This was maybe 3 years ago. I had never spent that amount of money on a coat. I still have never spent that amount of money on a coat. I don't own a Burberry trench. I do want one. I don't know why it's hard for me to pull the trigger on this, but it was that color in particular. I think that's the thing now that's holding me up, because I loved that color so much, and by the time I made up my mind, it was gone. You know, it was a seasonal color. I had months to act on it, and I was hesitating because it was still so, I didn't even really have a bag collection at that time. I had maybe 2 luxury bags, and you know, it still took a lot of buildup just to buy those, so that is definitely a regret. I will probably get one of the honey-colored Kensington Burberry trenches if they don't come out with a seasonal color that's also still a good neutral. I think that's what it was. It was that perfect balance between something really different and complementary to my skin tone while still being a nice neutral, you know, just something cool. Anyway. Next category we have is shoes. So this took a long time for me to think about because I have been way too impulsive with shoes. I have purchased really bedazzled shoes, really sparkly shoes. It is something that I always wait on because you can always get sales on shoes. Luxury shoes is like the one thing where you can pretty much rely on it. I have purchased Prada shoes at Nordstrom Rack. I have gotten a pair of my Gucci shoes on sale. You can always get like a discount on Gianvito Rossi and Manolo Blahniks. Manolo Blahniks you can get like 30% off frequently throughout the year if you know where to look. It's not difficult. Like Saks, Neiman Marcus, they always put them on sale. But the one that I'm thinking of in particular, something that I just waited too long on, this was maybe 4 years ago. It was a pair of Valentino rock stud. It was the tallest heel that they have. It was the black leather ones with the turquoise studs. I don't know what it was. I mean, this was like when they were coming out and being so, they were just shown everywhere. I thought they were so cool. Still look cool. I never bought them. I still think they look nice, but there was something about this black pair with the turquoise studs, and I don't have anything turquoise. I don't have anything like this. I also don't wear high heels like that. But because of like the way your foot is caged in the rock studs, I feel like they're more comfortable than most other super high heels. Anyway, I found these at Nordstrom Rack. They were maybe about, I think they were still like $800, and I had never ever spent close to that on a pair of shoes. I think maybe I'd come close to like 300 with some of my Stuart Weitzman boots. And I went home and I was thinking about like, okay, well, could I put this money towards it? Am I comfortable doing that? How much money do I have like saved up in my little like fun pile separate from everything else? And I waited and waited, and by the time I went back, because I thought, okay, I'm gonna go back, and if they're still there, I'll buy them, and they weren't there. It's honestly for the best. I don't regret it, just because they're so tall. They would have been very cool. I wasn't going out a ton at the time. I don't really know who I thought I was shopping for, really. Next category is SLGs. So this was also pretty easy for me to think of. It was a caviar red Chanel card holder. It was with the camellia pattern. Oh man, I haven't been able to find a card holder from Chanel in a year. This was maybe about a year and a half ago when the boutique was filled with stuff that I would have loved to buy. Couldn't buy it, obviously. I can't actually go and spend that much at Chanel at once. And now, I mean, yeah, I don't know if I will find a caviar card holder, and I love the camellia pattern. It was just a simple, really classic red, you know, embossed camellia pattern on the simple card holder. I loved it. I like bright colored SLGs. They're so pretty and they grab your attention. You always know where your wallet is if you're suddenly just trying to scan for it, or if you're looking for it in your bag. I do regret not buying this. I was so new to Chanel at the time. I think I had the mindset of, there will always be something else. There will always be something else available, or this will be here. It seemed pretty classic to me, but obviously it was a seasonal piece. I do regret not going back either like the next week or the next month and picking it up. There are a few things from Chanel at the time that I thought, there will always be something else, right? Or this will always be available. Now, probably, yeah, that's not really true. Now for the big one, bags. I don't have many bags that I've like really debated with and like gone back and forth on. Honestly, the bags that I missed out on, it's simply because I couldn't afford them at the time. Generally, if I've had the money, I've purchased the thing I wanted, which is probably not good. I am getting better at being a little bit more patient, and you know, if I miss out on something, it's totally fine. There's a few that I can think of that I really wanted, but I just didn't have the money, and therefore they don't classify for this tag. The one that does, the pick I'm going to share with you today, it's the Fendi Peekaboo. It was the mini lambskin one. It was like a duck egg blue. It's these colors, you know, like things that I don't have anything of, like the rock studs with the turquoise studs instead of just this basic the normal ones that they come with. what is it, like, do they do silver or light gold? Anyway, like, yeah, the turquoise rock studs or this very different Burberry trench. It's always that different color that grabs me. And so for this one, it was this beautiful duck egg blue. That's the best I can describe it. I'll try to find a picture of it and you can tell me what color you think it is, because I'm not really good with that kind of thing. It was beautiful. I don't have a full lambskin, like a big bag. I have two now. I have three now smaller pieces, like the Lady Dior pouch, the new Micro Chanel, and the card holder from Bottega, all are lambskin. So the idea of buying a full-size proper lambskin bag made me a little nervous. And the color, I thought, how am I going to incorporate this into my wardrobe? I'm still intimidated by blue bags for some reason. I don't quite know how to pair them with things because I don't want to have too much blue, and I tend to wear a lot of blue. Does that make sense? Like, I'm wearing blue jeans and a navy sweater, and so obviously I don't want to have another blue thing in there. And just a lot of blue. But I loved this color. I received a video of it from an SA showing me all around the outside of the bag, because it was going to have to be shipped to me. Between it being lambskin and the blue color, I just sat on it thinking, well, it's still there, I still have time. And by the time I was leaning towards getting it, it was gone. I think I've rambled on about this category too much, so hopefully that still makes sense. I think at the time peekaboos were about 3,800-ish, maybe 3,500. Again, a lot of money on a bag. It was lambskin. All these things made me very nervous, not knowing if I would be able to incorporate it into my wardrobe. So I just sat on it, seeing it on the website, thinking, oh, it's still there, I have time. And then it was gone. I don't know if I regret it, because obviously I then had that money towards another bag later on that I loved. I don't know what I purchased shortly after this, but goodness knows I'm sure I bought something. So clearly I found something I loved that I was certain of right away. It's these colors. They just get me every time. Finally, we have our wildcard category. For this, I had to debate quite a long time what it would be, because I don't think there was like any jewelry or scarves. There were a lot of course, you know, there's always little things that I want, but again, like having the money there, being comfortable to spend it, and then just going back and forth with myself until it was essentially unavailable. The thing I ended up picking was the, you know, okay, cheating a little bit, kind of gonna list two because I would have been happy with either. It was the green or yellow Fendi Peekaboo Charm. They're not available on the website anymore. Sorry if you can hear Sherpa scratching at her post. Why are you making noise right now? Okay, do what you gotta do. Anyway. It was, oh, they're so cute. I love that they're a darker color because these pieces are lambskin and I'd like to wear them against jeans. The yellow, maybe that one would have been a little problematic, but especially the green, they're adorable. They fit cards. It's very similar to like my Chanel micro bag situation where you can fit your cards, a lipstick, keys, that's it. But I've talked about this before, I'm perfectly comfortable having my phone in my back pocket or in a coat pocket or even in my hand. That's usually where it is, if we're being brutally honest. But I had just purchased my Fendi Montresor. I'm not comfortable buying a lot of stuff all at once, even if I have the money. It's just not something that makes me comfortable, so I don't know how many massive hauls we'll have on this channel. Maybe one day, maybe when the addiction is further along. But it's not something I'm comfortable with now. I do actually kind of regret not picking up one of those items, but at the same time, I'm sure there will be another color. They're about $700. They're a little bit over $700, I believe. Fendi's always coming out with beautiful colors. There's other charms that I would be happy to buy, but I do kind of regret not getting that green one because it's adorable and it would go with so many outfits. I had just bought the green Fendi Montresor, so I'm thinking, oh, I can't possibly get this. And I was going back and forth in my head and looking at the pictures of trying it on again. And I just waited too long. I'm pretty sure they're sold out in the US. So those were our categories. I'm gonna show on the screen roughly how much money I saved because I didn't buy these and in some ways missed out on some of them, but that's okay. I was able to put that money towards something else. And now I think I've gotten a lot better at knowing what's for me and what is just some crazy color that I'm for some reason drawn to. And also like knowing which crazy colors I can incorporate easily into my wardrobe. I think it's good to take it slow. I mean, it's better to miss out on a thing rather than, for me anyway, than buy something and then worry about having to sell it on. So no huge regrets. I wish I did get that little charm from Fendi and the Burberry coat. Those are definitely two that I would turn back time on, but oh well. It is what it is. I saved some money, so that's good. Put that money towards other things. I'll try to tag some people over on Instagram. I'm sorry if I'm double tagging anyone, but thank you so much to Classics with a Quirk for tagging me in this because these are always a lot of fun. I like seeing a new perspective on some of these pieces, things that people didn't get and why, what they were going back and forth with versus just like seeing all the things we do buy. So thank you so much, and thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Anyway, where am I going with this? New one. It was a Chanel red caviar Camellia Cabello? Camellia?